Jim here today. It's been a lot of fishing and not much gear. Kevin Lakin brought that to my attention, Kevin of Palmetto Cat. So today we're going to do a gear review. It's actually going to be a 1-year review on my boat, the fishing and gear boat, how I've got it set up, you know, things I've changed on it, things I love about the boat, things that I don't like about the boat. So let's get started. First off, this is a Tracker Super Guide V16, and the 16 is for 16 feet. It is a 16-foot deep hole boat, a deep V hole. And you can see the hole on this boat at the front of the boat sits lower than the back of the boat. And that's really good for rough water. But sometimes water gets trapped in that because it sits lower than the front. So sometimes you have to jack up the boat as high as it'll go if you get water in there, you know, to get it out. So the only time this boat really does get water in it, it doesn't leak. It's when I'm in really rough water. Sometimes the back of the boat, it'll dunk down, you know, a little bit. Waves that come across, you know, you have to turn on your bilge pump and get that water out. And sometimes it'll go down into the front of the boat, into that V. And like I say, get home, jack it up, and you know, let the water out. It's not gonna be enough to cause you any issue, but it does get trapped in there sometime. Now this boat does have the Mercury 40 horse, and it's a 4-stroke, you know, pretty much all new motors are now. This boat, you can get it with the 50, and if it's an option for you, get it with the 50. This is the 40 horse. I can get about 27 miles per hour. My brother has the 50, he can get about 32. So, you know, a couple more miles per hour there. I did upgrade the motor to a stainless steel prop, same pitch. It's a Michigan wheel Apollo, and it's been a good prop. So one thing I do like about the boat is it has the vinyl flooring. It's really easy to keep it clean, to clean it out, which it is pretty dirty right now. One thing I don't like about it is the carpet. I wish it had no carpet at all. So, you know, if I ever look at another boat later on, you know, I'd rather have no carpet. The boat did come with 2 seats. You know, you got position side by side, you got another position in the back, and you got a position in the front. Most of the times I just leave the seats just like this, and then when I'm catfishing, I'll just spin both of these around face back, and you've got all that, you know, back room back there, you know, to catfish. The Tracker does include a fish finder, depth finder with the boat. It's a Lowrance, I think it's just a Lowrance hook unit. It's probably the cheapest hook unit they got. It's about a $99 unit. So definitely that didn't stay on the boat long. Upgraded that. So on the front of the boat here, the driver, it's a Lowrance Elite TI2 unit. And I know everybody's seen this plenty of times. And on the back of the boat, it's a 12-inch Elite TI2. Now what I probably have never showed you before is I have a Lowrance 0.1 unit right here on the back of the boat. So what that 0.1 unit does is the Lowrance fish finder, the Elite anyway, it doesn't have a compass built into the unit. It's pretty much getting your position, you know, your heading by satellites, you know, kind of triangulating your position. So that works good under, you know, power, 2 or 3 miles per hour faster. But once you start drift fishing and you slow down to like 0.5 or slower, sometimes that compass, you know, it gets a little confused. So I would have problems with, you know, it showed me going one direction and then another direction, and you couldn't really keep course. So did a little research. The 0.1 resolved that problem. It has a compass built into it, 1 foot accuracy. I mean, I trust it completely in the dark. I'll run just like, you know, wide open across the lake at night, and you know, if it says it's there, it's there. So the fish finder, when I got it, it had C maps, I think, and I upgraded it to the Navionics hot maps, and that made all the difference. I mean, that was the biggest thing that turned it around for us. When I got that Navionics and I could see the bottom of that lake, I could really tell where the channel was, where the sub channels are. I mean, it instantly put me on more fish. When I got it, it was hot summer, so I was wanting to find the main channel and just really be able to find and key in on where those fine lines were, you know, the steps, where it steps down on the side of it, and it really changed it. So I think that's probably one of the best upgrades you can get is if you have the Elite TI2 you can get that 3D look. If you've got a hook unit or a hook 2 unit, I don't think you'll get that 3D look with. The boat comes with a Minn Kota power drive. It's a 40-pound thrust, 45-pound thrust trolling motor. It could be a little bigger. It does good, you know, it's not awful, but it could stand to be a little bit bigger. But I think if you go much bigger, then you got to go into a 24-volt system. This is a 12-volt. When I got the boat, it didn't have iPilot, yet that is an upgrade you can make to these power drive Minn Kota units. It's about a $500 upgrade. Basically, you get a different head for the unit, you get a remote for the unit, and actually I'm on my second remote. First remote lasted about a year. I think the remote itself is about $150. So mainly you just paying for this plastic piece of plastic unit right here with you know, I guess it's got GPS in it. So the boat didn't come with any really running lights at all, so I added this light here on the front. It's just an LED bar, you know, nothing fancy, but it does do pretty good coming across the lake. And for night fishing, I added these two. It's the same size as the one on the front. You know, I think that might be 6 or 8 inches or so. So you got one on each side off the back of the boat, and then our main power light source is this bar up top. I think that's a 20-inch bar. So you got that bar and these here in the back, and at night, I mean, it really lights it up. I mean, you can see a fish way back here, you know, when you come in, you pulling them across the lake. So the boat comes with no rod holders. It does come with this VersaTrack, and you know, you can get these Canon rod holders. They go in there and they're adjustable, but big catfish, I wouldn't trust them. Let me show you one down here that actually I broke. So this one here snapped off, and believe it or not, what snapped it off was I was putting my my net in here, some Monster rod holder net, we'll slide it down in here. The net broke the rod holder. So what's a big fish gonna do, you know? So I upgraded the rod holders with Monster rod holders. I like the red, you know, the boat's red. And these rod racks are actually made by Monster as well, and they are removable. You can take a, you know, a wrench, take this off. You can still take them off your boat for a cover. And I like them because it still leaves the back of the boat open. You can still get to your drift socks or whatever you need to do. Santee Cooper, and it can get really rough really quick out here. You get a 5-mile-per-hour wind, and you know, it can get choppy. You get a 12-mile-per-hour wind, you know, it gets dangerous. And I hear a lot of guys say all the time, you need a pontoon boat for Santee Cooper, 16 foot. I mean, I'll take it out there on the roughest days. You know, I don't suggest everybody to do that. You know, it's not for the novice, you know, maybe a little bit experience, but it can handle some rough water. I've really had it in some pretty dicey situations, and you know, I'm still here. I'm still with us anyway. So I've got some footage. I'm gonna roll that of some really rough water. So take a look, and I mean, this thing will, it takes some rough water. It really will. The reason it takes that rough water like that is, again, that deep V. And even though it does have that deep V, I've ran this boat, you know, like 0.6 in the depth, you know, almost a half a foot. And the motor was dragging, but the boat won't. So it actually drafts pretty shallow as well. I guess that's really it, you know. You don't have to have a huge boat to fish Santee Cooper. A 16-foot boat is plenty. You know, just be smart. You know, drift with the waves when you go out into the lake if it's rough. You know, go against them. Just hit them head on. That's the best thing to do. Hitting them set high, you know, let them hit to the side of the boat. That's the last thing you want. I guess the last tip I can give you is when you put your top on your boat, make sure you put it to where you got enough room to stand up and get to your rod holders, you know, to get to your rods. This one started, you could see this was here, so I had it back too far. So some extra holes, no biggie, just make sure you got enough room to get your stuff. Anyways, that's it for this episode of Fishing and Gear. Maybe this help somebody out there. I know spring's right around the corner and everybody's looking for boats. I did a review on this boat right after I got it, and that video has gotten like an extra couple 100 views just in the past couple of days. So people's looking at boats. This is about a 1-year review. The boat is still holding up really great. Still love the boat, love the motor, really great on gas. So hope you enjoyed it. To the next one, we